the book. So I've chosen a bunch of images. I'll put them on a page, printed, and cut some out. The way I usually start is to select a focus image. So in this case I chose this fellow. And then just to start putting on some background. So I have here some old ephemera, and I just particularly like the dark writing, so I'm just going to stick that there. I use repositionable glue, by the way. Is that the right way? That's the right way, isn't it? Yeah. And I'm going to just make sure that it's not lined up, because that looks a bit, I don't know. So it's hanging over, and when you turn the page you'll be able to see a little bit there. And he's going to sit there somewhere. Then I sort of found these pattern papers, and I was just going to put one there, put some glue. It's one of those things. Again, I'm just going to leave it hanging off the top of the page, and this one next to it as well. And that, you see, put it out there, just looking at the overlap there, so that it's a nice shape, I guess. And that gives him a nice background to sit on without too much going on around his antlers, so that you can see them clearly, if you know what I mean. Whoa, yeah. The opposite page, because I said I wanted something. Oh, actually, there's this label too, which I quite like. So he's lacking a bit on the bottom, so I'm just going to put that label under there as well. Oh, maybe there. I always like a bit of text, and there's a bit of red number there, so move him around a bit so you can see some of that number. And you end up something like that. And usually I use these big paper clips to keep things in place until I've finished working on them. So something like that. So the other page, the other thing I decided with this journal is to try to make the opposite pages sit better together, so not to have them as two entirely separate type of images. So on the other side I decided to also try and work on maybe another little bit of green, so I found this corner image. And for the background, maybe that. You don't want to leave the background really plain. Maybe that on top. Then just looking at my stuff here. This is just some possibilities that I pulled out. And maybe this one, which is kind of a nice green. And I've cut it, torn it, so it's a nice long shape because it's a long page. So you'd end up, I'm just going to put a bit of glue on it so that it stays there somewhat. And maybe this one there. Okay. Then I had one of those things, you know, those bingo things, bingo card. It's also a good green, I mean. Put that somewhere in there. With that covering the corner. Now, remember I said to make a kind of a route around the page, so you can see that the main focus is here and it's going diagonally to the other corner. And maybe I'll put something around here, but he's going to be the main focus anyway. It's too bad that number, it's kind of in an awkward place. Be better if it was there. Right, so and I've got a few other things here that we're just matching in colour. You can see those. There's a ticket, some other little bits that I found, so another number thing. Maybe I'll put that there somewhere. Oops. It's actually the wrong way around, isn't it? Not that way. Not that way. Because this is going to create a strange shape there. No. Don't know. Let it go. Move on. Yeah, that's a possibility. Just picking up on the colours, but at the same time I don't want to make it too many focal points. Could do that too. That's okay. I like the greenery because it kind of relates back to the animal better than a butterfly does. But you know, maybe go back to that. And then I have this little tag I might make into a little pull out, so maybe just stick them in there for now. So the page will look something like that. See that? I'm reasonably happy with that. Thinking that maybe this image is a bit small and I'd like him smaller, bigger. I'd like him bigger. The other thing is when you use images that are looking a certain direction, it's best to have them looking into the page rather than away from the book. So with this fellow here, he's looking over to that sort of section, which is good. And the other thing I'm thinking is that I would like him larger and maybe switch the pages around the other way, which means I would have to reprint him and flip him over. But we'll see. I'll just leave it there and I'll think about it for a few days and maybe add something else to it. Hi folks, back again with an update on this first signature. Mostly the elements have remained unchanged. I've just finished off the borders, done some stenciling on the background of the pages so they relate on the two facing sides, and tucked in some tags here and there. Did a bit of sewing. Because it's just a single signature, it's easy to take to the sewing machine and add some machine sewing if you want to do that. The farmhouse page, just the same, a bit of background in, a bit of an element there. I haven't done that yet. I'll get to it eventually. The long image, not sure if I had those before, but some sewing. Added a bit of ephemera here, some stenciling. This page I didn't border because I like it the way it is, so basically the same as it was. Haven't found an image for that one yet. I will eventually, I'm not going to stress over it. This is a piece of vellum across the page, which is hard to stick down. This is about the same as before. Eventually I'll stick it down when I've done that bit. I'll probably make the dog a bit bigger so he becomes a focal point on that page. This one added a few more elements, again a bit of stenciling on the background, the borders. This part here is I have a punch that makes those holes. I always like those because then I can border them and grunge the page up with that. Sometimes put some thread through it or some whatever, lace. This one again added a few more collage elements. It's a piece of fabric there with some lace on the bottom, some stitching. This one here, this is a card from, I think it's a Tim Holtz card that I found. So I just collaged the back of it, and these are also Tim Holtz. Then made it into a little flap using washi tape. So it just adds another little extra page. And all these elements are also related through nature theme, all bordered. Sewing there, bit of fabric. This one I just finished off as well with a bit of lace bordering. No, I haven't finished the border on that one. It's an old check part as a background. I think I fussy cut that actually from black. I like to add a bit of black here and there, not a lot because it's quite a heavy element, but now and then. Cute stamp. And that's it. This page I'll do when I have the other section so that they can relate back. And the other thing I wanted to show you was how I do the borders. So I've got a bit of Tim Hortons here. So the first thing, use a water pen, a water brush. And I've showed you this before, so I'm just going to be pretty quick about it. So often I'll do this bordering before I even start the collage because it just puts you in a creative mood and it's quite relaxing really. So that. Now to add more dimension to my borders I can use a charcoal pencil. This is a soft one. And just roughly go over that. And it adds depth. The thing about charcoal though is that it rubs off. So be careful where you put it. Another thing that I use is one of these pencils. It's aqua reliable, water soluble, writes on glass, metal, plastic and wood. USA Generals, all surface pencil. Anyway, it's true, it will write on anything, even when you've got paint on your paper. Which I sometimes do, and the graphite doesn't work very well on it, but this will go on anything, so that's really good. It's water soluble, so if you do that it comes out a bit darker and you can spread it out a bit. Not the graphite though, this one does. The other thing I use is Derwent Intense pencils, and I've got a big tin of them, but really I'll use these three most of the time. Sepia ink and dark chocolate or India ink. So of course these are really easy, you just do the same thing, just roughly border the page. I mean we're after a grungy look after all, so be pretty casual about it. And then if you go over it with the water pen, it's even better. Water brush. And there's one more thing I want to show you. I just have to go and get it back in a minute. Coloured graphite blocks. And these give a pretty grungy look, so this is how I use them. Just again roughly border. And again use this. And they're quite intense, as you can see. You have to be pretty careful with how much you put on it. And mainly I use this one on my other sort of collages, the gloomy looking ones. But really very effective. You can see how dark that comes out compared to the other ones. If I can hold this right. Oh, there. You can see how dark that last one comes out. And again, you can buy these singly, and I mainly use just those two darker brown ones because they're such intense colours. They're the ones that interest me. So that's all for now really. And oh, one other thing, if I want a really dark gloomy background, I use this golden high flow acrylic in sepia. And this, because I haven't told you yet, but I can't actually paint or draw, so I'm pretty basic, simple stuff. Just do that. And then just squirt the water onto it. Usually I dry it off with a hair dryer, but I haven't brought one with me. So anyway, that covers a lot more area. And it's got a gloss finish to it, which is quite nice sometimes.